How's it going, everyone? I'm going to be showing you how I made my first 10,000 Rand trading with prop firms last year in 2025. I'm going to break it down as far as possible and post as many receipts, screenshots, screen recordings, profit splits, emails as possible, and explain every step by step thing that I did to get those payouts. So, over the past few years, my trading approach has really changed a lot. So, back in the day, before prop firms, with the very little capital that I had, I was trying to flip accounts, try to grow accounts slowly over time. But you can imagine in this investment space, if you have 10,000 Rand, say like $500 or so, and you're trying to grow that while investment managers and banks, well, let's say a bank would offer you 7 to 10% interest. As a trader, you're trying to beat the market, you're trying to beat the S&P 500. Let's say you're aiming for 20%, but with $500, with 10,000 Rand, it's only going to be 2,000 Rand in a year. And so it was very difficult for me a while back to be able to trade with such little capital. But as we know now, there's prop firms in the industry where if you can show that you have the ability to build your capital over time, they'll be willing to fund you. And so my trading approach really changed from trading my own capital to prop firm capital. And for me, in the long term, my goal isn't to get investors or grow a following. That's why I haven't really been posting. But my goal is to have private investor capital, be a private asset manager, and manage funds that way. I think this finance space is really a passion of mine. And even though I'm studying medicine, I realized I don't need to fix myself into a box and do one thing. I can just pursue anything that I'm passionate about. So that's been my goal. And I'm going to be sharing that journey, my journey on this channel, explaining how I trade, showing my investment portfolio, which most of my money isn't in trading, it's in long-term investments in ETFs, in fixed deposits or notice deposit savings accounts because if I want my money to grow long term, that's where you're going to put your money, unit trusts, etc. And so trading is a small part of that, and I'm going to be sharing that on here, starting with this video about how I made my first payouts through prop firms in 2025. So number one, I was trading with 3 prop firms last year. I can share the names, I don't really care. FTMO, Equity Edge, and Funding Pips. And so one thing that I will advise is to probably stick to as few as possible because I noticed that I tried to scale way too quickly. So the first thing that happened when I got a funded account, it was a $2,500 funded account. And I noticed that that amount was way too low for me to take seriously. So I wasn't really following my rules as I should. So then I started documenting all my trades using a different trading journal, which I'm going to show you up here. And when I was trading currencies, I had 100 trades that I recorded. It's about 98 or so. And then I moved on to trading NASDAQ on my prop firm account because I could trade the New York session, which is around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, depending on daylight savings time. And because of that, I can still go to school, go to work, whatever, and trade at that time. And so that worked really well for me with my prop firm accounts. And I was sharing different strategies on different accounts, trading Forex on the one, indices on another. The biggest return on investment was obviously Equity Edge. It's the most affordable trading firm that prop firm I've seen. Obviously that comes with its cons. FTMO has been there for a while, I think over 10 years now. And it's obviously one of the most reliable, but also the most expensive. But I was willing to take the risk to go with a more affordable firm if it's going to give me more capital or more chances to trade. So once the $2,500 and $2,500 account didn't work out, I moved up to $5,000, and that I could take more seriously because if I make let's say 2%, minimum withdrawal is 2.5%, $125, that's 2,000 Rand, which might not be a lot to some people, but it's a decent amount of money to me. Versus if I did that on the $2,500 account, I'd have to make about 7%. Forgot the numbers, but the minimum withdrawal is still $1,100, so I have to make 5%, $125. to withdraw the 80% profit split and get the $100. So once I moved up to $5,000, I was able to take that more seriously. I'm going to post my trading journal up here and show how I took 100 trades over the year. So it's obviously different accounts. I'll pause one and continue to log my trades on the same account, on the same journal. And why that's important is I feel like a lot of traders miss the probability aspect of trading. So it's like if you were to be flipping a coin, you can make money on that flip of a coin if you stick to proper risk management. If you're gonna risk 50% of your money on heads every time, you're gonna lose all your money in less than 5 trades. But if you apply a proper set of risk, even though the odds are 50-50, you can still make money on that. And obviously, if you just get a slight edge, like if you just know about one flip, or if you have the slightest edge, the coin isn't perfectly balanced, you're able to make a lot of money and capitalize off of that. And so I can tell you my age right now is just following the trend. Can go into detail about that, but I don't really want to share my strategy in detail. But if the market's going up, you just look for it to keep going up. If it's going down, you look for it to keep going down. And that's giving me an edge in the market. There's obviously specifics, candlestick patterns, fundamentals, etc. But that's the basis of it. Very simple. Get at the same time every day. Okay, so now I'm going to share some of the account metrics from some of the accounts that I took. Some of them go up and down, some of them go straight up. I try to stick to 1 to 2% risk per trade, depending on the account. As I was saying, have multiple accounts. I don't remember exactly how the first account went. I do remember that one mistake I did make with my first account that I got funded on made my payout get rejected. So what I did was I had like $1 left to getting a round number. So $100 at the time was probably 1,800 Rand, and I wanted 2,000 Rand or something. And I got like, let's say $130 profit. So what I did was I opened a random trade just to get like another $1 or $2. And I ended up losing all the profit on that trade. So I immediately entered another trade to try and recoup that profit. You know, revenge trading. This is why the mindset is a really important thing in psychology of trading. And when I eventually requested for a payout, they rejected it because of either gambling or 2-minute rule, one of the two. And later on, I got another payout rejected because of trading between 2 minutes or 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after news. So things like that. One, it skews your age. Two, it really shows you how the strategy itself is important. I remember, I'll see if I can share this, taking screenshots of one chart and putting about 30 different strategies on that chart to show you how you could have capitalized on that move. But the most important thing is the mindset of it. Sticking to the strategy, getting those 100 trades, doing the same thing over and over, executing until you hit the probability. And I think only the people that are able to have that type of mindset can stick to it. So it was in about March when I made my first $10,000, $500 profit, which was 10,000 Rand at the time. And then after a while, I eventually got to 10,000 Rand in trading withdrawals. And I might make a video later about some specific ones. My last withdrawal for the year was on the 12th of December. I think I posted that on Instagram. But for now, that's enough. I might post a bit more later. We'll see if I have time. Cheers.